Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have such sights to show you. This bird box of a podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Play. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me always is my also host, the lore to my data, as it were, Trash Monk the Thizzard. Winter.
Yeah, you kind of cut out a little bit. I was afraid I was in a quiet place, but, you know, that was already done.
Nice. No, did I really cut out, or was that the joke that you're trying to...
No. You're good. It's the same old.
Okay, because I didn't know what was happening.
No. You got the Frenchman out. Yeah, of course, this is the delightful sounds of winter. That is Trash Monk the Third. That's Trash Monk I. That's Trash Monk I. And I'm coming at her. This only gets louder. Okay.
Hi. That's falsetto. He'll get you.
Falsetto. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. Yeah, how's your weekend?
Wow. Well, we're back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend. We both took a bit of a holiday hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
To do the family stuff. So really, I just used this time to watch a lot of movies and just be completely blown away by how lame movies are. No, I'm just kidding. Mm-hmm. The holidays were cool. Got to see the fam bam, hang out with the peoples. And I watched a ton of stuff over this holiday break, New Year break. And there's a couple of things that stood out. One was Hereditary. I got to finally see that. And that jacked me up pretty good. Like, being a horror nerd, it's not much that can really jolt me.
Yeah.
Anymore. You know what I mean? Just by age and by seeing so many horror films. But Hereditary had that nice slow burn. You know what I mean? That slippery knife done, you know? So I just absolutely adored that film. It was so good, it messed me up, like, to the point where I didn't want to watch it again. But then I watched it again just to get back on the horse, and it was really, really good. So I ended up watching that. And I did want to ask you, Winter, because that's pretty much what I did. I just played some video games. Oh, and also what I did this week was I finally started up our streaming channel, MOTN Plays. And I streamed a little bit last night.
I tried to watch one, and you already were done with one, the Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's because, well, this is a whole thing. Yeah. It's because I didn't want to just stream via the PS4. I wanted to do it nice and official, using an Elgato game capture card, using OBS with the nice stream layers and donation animations and all that good stuff, right? Got all the pieces of the puzzle, but then some part of my lizard mind didn't wrap around that. Yeah, you can't stream on a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, it's preferred not to. They prefer you not to.
So the first time I tried, everything was set up. Everything was looking good. Video worked. It took me a while to bug everything, get the sound going. Everything was great. I hit record on OBS, and I was dropping 50% of my frames. Just dropping. It was nuts. It was chugging. and my perfectionist brain would not let it happen. I just stopped. I was like, okay, what is it? Is it just raw internet connection, or is it my CPU? What can it be? Is this thing just not powerful enough? Do I have to resort to just streaming via PS4 until I can get a streaming rig? And the simple answer is no. Just plug in your Ethernet connection to your PC, and that should solve that problem, at least for streaming. Because I'm not trying to stream anything higher than, let's say, 720. You know what I mean?
The industry standard. The industry
standards. That's how we are here in the Nerdverse. So I streamed the old-fashioned way on PlayStation for a couple of hours last night, which was fun. I'm going to be streaming Monster Hunter. I started a brand new build just for the stream. Zero, starting from complete scratch to grow with the stream. And hopefully by the time the expansion comes out, my character will be all caught up and we'll be able to just roll right into the new expansion. So that's a little project I'm doing. And hopefully I ordered an Ethernet connection or cable because my router's in a completely different room. So
go for that 50
that's
foot.
Always fun. I got, you know what I did, bro. You know I did, bro. So I got that 50-foot cord, and I'm gonna make that mess work. I'm gonna just try to make it work, and keep testing it, and keep getting it just right, and whatever I got to do to get the stream looking as good as possible for you guys.
I always tell myself that I should try streaming. Like, I've always had the idea of you write a script with what's being typed in the chat box. So whatever they suggest, it gets into the script, and then you act that out at the end or something like that. Like an ad libs. Yeah. The problem is, I watch too many Twitch fail compilations that I don't need that lingering around in the internet of that happening.
My brain is like, I'm just gonna do my thing, dude. Like, I don't have a rhyme or reason to it. I'm gonna play the games I like. I'm not gonna do anything nutty or scripted or sponsored. I'm just gonna chop it up with the chat and just be natural, right? And just play as long as I want, and just don't make it a chore. And hopefully people will watch, you know. And then if they don't, it is what it is. I'm gonna do it anyway, just like with everything.
And I also feel like I have enough content creation going on in my world that I don't need to add another thing. But I would suggest, let me pitch an idea for you, because I'm thinking about buying this Divinity Original Sin 2.
Ooh, that's a beast. Yeah.
Add some MOTN play content of you and I and a group of people going through the different fan-made adventures.
That sounds kind of like something else that's already on the horizon, but I'm down for that, because I played Pillars of Eternity, which is kind of similar, and that game is dense. It's like your auntie's flan dense, Doug. So I'm super down for getting a group of people and just going through some fan made.
Just something to let's put that in the category of MOTN future news ? Exclamation point. Trash.
Crisis of Infinite Nerdiverses. You know what I'm saying?
We'll put that in the black hole, and then we'll pop out at a different timeline.
Different timeline. I love it. So what did you do over this break, my man, my dude?
Well, I bought Rocket League, and I added 61 hours of play to that.
Damn. Ooh, okay.
I have a problem.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I did not. What else did I do? I started the first book in the book list, this reading challenge that I'm supposed to go throughout the year. And
nice.
Yeah. Nothing too nerdy. I'm going through BBC Channel's Father Brown. I'm at the final season that they have to offer.
See? Yeah.
Yes. But just happy to be alive, I guess.
Yeah, man. We made it. It's 2019, man. We made it. We're in the new year. This is the year where we finally find our giant ant overlords, Doug. I can't wait.
This is when we find our first whales for the podcast.
Oh, dude, fingers crossed, man. I want my Nigerian prince to just throw money into the podcast.
Yes.
Just do it.
Like have Gus from Rooster Teeth shine his gaze upon this podcast and go,
dude,
they're
them.
These ants must be redeemed.
I just want Lord Ninja from the top of his Zaibatsu, his Fortnite Zaibatsu, dog. I want him to be at 3:00 in the morning just surfing the deck, and he flicks a booger at our direction and just gives us $100,000.
Yeah, or just give us a shout out on his stream.
Yeah, just those MOTN guys are kind of funny, and like 700,000 people go, ooh, and then we're here, and then we made it. Yeah, man, just jump upside down and just wave, and hopefully, Senpai will notice us. You know what I'm saying? I don't care which Senpai at this point. It could be any Senpai.
Any?
Not any. No. That's a slippery slopes.
Yeah.
Would you take the money, though?
Yes.
Would you take the money?
Yes.
Yes?
Getting paid to podcast? Yes.
Hey, what does that mean? Who gets paid? Who are these people that get paid to do this?
A lot of people.
Jeez, man. I guess.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be thinking about that right now, folks.
Nah.
That's how you get into Logan Paul, Jake Paul territory.
Yeah, man. The next thing you know, we're over here fighting ghosts in the suicide forest. Can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that at all. That is non-kosher, dude.
But you know what we should go to, because 7:30 the Sharks play.
you and your Sharks, dude.
Yeah.
But you have a point that if the Sharks lose tonight, it would be in the news, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I keep telling myself, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
You want to get sued?
Extra, read all of the news. Hit the news. Okay, boom.
I like it. I like all that just happened right now.
Yeah.
That is the
open up your gullet and shove some news down the throat. It's MOTN news.
Be so honey. Womp womp womp.
Hey, this is KOP 6545 news.
This is Cheez It in the dude. Cheez It, I love you. Can we just go that route for one episode? We just get a bunch of get a soundboard and just do that for an hour.
I do have the feeling that it's going to become a trend where I have to find a new intro to the news every week.
In our alternate reality, MOTN is just Cheez It in the dude, right? Yes. That's our alternate reality Guy Fieri field podcast where all we talk about is Mountain Dew and Call of Duty all day. Now the question is, who is Cheez It and who's the dude?
That's a good question.
I think you'd be the dude because you're cooler, and I'd be Cheez It because I'm a bit of a nutcase.
That's what people tell me. Yes.
Yeah, that's the consensus of the show. Is that who's that Mike? You need to get rid of him. He's a weirdo.
No. Just that they just say that they think I'm faking the nerdiness, and you and you cover what I'm
overdoing it. No. I think we're two opposite sides of a spectrum. It's like your Kool-Aid is nice and balanced.
I'm Call of Duty and you're Shrinkio or whatever it's called.
And I'm 4chan. Oh jeez. Speaking of disturbing things, are you ready? You know what? I did want to ask you something. Did you end up watching Bird Box?
What did you do?
Chance?
What?
Did you know? What did you do? Let me see your hands. What did you do? Did you end up watching Bird Box by any chance?
No.
Do you know what it is? Do you understand the phenomena? The phenomenon of Bird Box.
I understand it even without watching it. That's how elite nerdiness I've become.
All right. Well, watch Bird Box, and we're going to have a stupid conversation about it. Because I have a joke, but I can't tell it unless you know the context of said joke.
Okay.
But something that's not funny is the passing of Mean Gene Okerlund.
Man.
Talk about that for a little bit. Mean Gene, dog. Like, you know what that makes me think of? Remember at the ice cream truck where you would get the WWF like pops? And have
no,
like
we live in the country. We do not have ice cream trucks.
Oh, I forget that you live like in the mountains where you fight a bear to get your ice cream trucks or something like that. Like you have to conquer the mountain spirit.
We had one guy who sold ice cream out of this VW van that he like worked up, that he put stickers on the front, and he always wore like Hawaiian shirts and always looked like he was wet. Yeah, like there's a spritzer going on in the van at all times. But but isn't it supposed to be cold? Get in the truck. Get in the van.
Go to the van. Why are there puncture holes in my ice cream? Get in the van.
I didn't make that joke. You made that joke.
I ultra made that joke.
But it's sad to see. I mean, Mean Gene Okerlund is a legend.
Man.
I'm pretty sure he's
the highest
order.
I'm pretty
sure he's already. He has to be already in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
and he was before my time. But he's the type of character that you know right away. Like there's people nowadays that I don't think pay much credit to him, or like the Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Jimmy Snuka. Jimmy Snuka's for different reasons, but it's
him up.
I'm calling out Jimmy Snuka in this honor.
That's fine. A lot of people are calling him out at this point.
Too bad he can't remember it day after day. Okay.
Wow. Shots fired. But there was a time back in the day with wrestling where there was this gap where wrestling was nothing but dudes in like gymnasiums, like in the South, with no audiences and no flair, literally no Ric Flair. And then it became this super WrestleMania kind of event. And Gene Okerlund had a lot to do with that transition. He gave it kind of like an authenticity to it, which, there's the straight man and the color man, right? Mean Gene was always the straight man to like someone else that was on the mic at the time. And this was during the era of like Bruno Sammartino, the Ultimate Warrior, dude, the Steiner Brothers, the Road Warriors, Andre the Giant, Macho Man, dog, the cream of the crop. And he was right before my time. Like, I remember seeing him on TV, but he was already old back then. You know what I mean? Mean Gene was already old back then. So I dearly remember him being like I used to have a Mean Gene like pillow fighter. That's what we used to have back in the day. These weird wrestling pillow fighters, and they made one of Mean Gene for some reason. You know what I mean? Him and Hulk Hogan, of course, the Warrior with the blood red moon. Shots out for Mean Gene Okerlund commentating in the sky right now, dude.
Good times.
Good times, man. Know what else is good times? Overwatch. Why don't you tell us something about Overwatch, Winter?
It's time for, first of all, it's eSports news.
eSports.
Catch the digital football. Pay money. Now, eSports news.
Give money. And this is where Mike G falls asleep.
I never do that to you except every week.
This is why I love this show.
Top story last week was Overwatch. This is taken from the Washington Post. That's right. Overwatch game reached the Washington Post in the sports section. First, a fast rising female esports star was threatened. Then she quit. Then she didn't exist. That's a little troubling there.
What do you mean didn't exist? She existed. What?
So
I
this
need
is the thing.
clarification.
The Overwatch contenders, let's just call it what it should have been called, Overwatch minor leagues. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the minor leagues again.
Yeah, one
Oh,
of the
geez.
teams, Second Wind, took on a player who went by the nickname Ellie. But of course, no one knows her real name. She likes it's a fabricated identity, and it's not a real name. Okay,
Right.
It's like that Hearthstone guy who's Toast or whatever his name is. He's just like a bread. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, people know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, she has a high ranking in competitive matches for the season, but people still don't know much about her, and that creates a mystery, like almost Freemason level mystery, where people were going, "How do we know that she actually earned the ranking?" And we don't know who she really is. So it could have just been a woman getting a guy to come in and making the play. See, he's getting it, folks. So. So following the signing, there's been much more scrutiny placed on her than other people.
Of course.
Yeah. And it got to the point where people were talking about doxing her or like once she find out more personal information, they're going to expose her. And eventually she just said, I have enough. So she left her position in Second Wind. And I believe that's where I last left it. Just she's done. Her career is over now. Well, for right now in Overwatch because the fan base. Now there's two things that we can look at. The first one would be the reaction I would feel some people should have, which is that in professional sports there are crazy fans.
Of course. Yeah.
The problem with that is, why is it that the number of crazy fans are higher in eSports than there is in regular sports? Like the ratio. Would you say?
I don't think it's a higher number. I just think it's a more vocal minority. Because kids have access. There's a difference between old man Packers who hates the Vikings and hates their progressive coach, but says it from his chair.
Right.
He says it from his bar. He says it from his friend.
Yeah, I wouldn't even add that in that category. People should just expect that regardless of as soon as you add like in public eye, that's something that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about those fans that would go like, they see the player walking into the arena and then they check out their phone and go, you suck in front of his face, sort of thing.
Do that. Sports guys have been getting that for decades.
Exactly.
You know, it's just there's a certain kind of human that feels.
But it just seems to me that if I want to be the mom of the group, go like there seems to be a certain culture in internet world. I have to be careful here because I don't want them to come into my sites, and I love the internet so much.
I love the internet.
Yes, that there's a certain culture that is bred over the internet of finding, like I said, like finding personal information or like doing these horrible things, you know. And I guess so. I don't have the number, so I cannot say that the ratio is higher. But it seems like this is crazy. Like if we were going to look at like a sport, like a traditional sport, of fans bombarding a player so bad that he leaves the team, quits, that would be like front page news. Like what? Like it would be crazy.
I think it's, and just to kind of go on what you were talking about, that it's technology breeds escalation.
Yes, exactly.
In a sense where there are fans who are going to break into Barry Bonds' house and steal out of his house that are that crazy, right? And with technology, it's the same crazy fan who's going to swat some guy because he's winning in Counter-Strike. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of crazy. It's just that with technology these days, it's a lot easier to do it from a place of anonymity. You know what I mean? And it's that it would, like you were mentioning earlier, if someone just broke into LeBron James's house and stole all his personal memorabilia, it'll be all over the news, right?
Right.
But because Overwatch is still a quote unquote kids game, and esports is not as big as regular sports, things like this fall under the radar and is only really tacked on by fans like us, by people who are in the know.
Yes.
You know.
And this is the second point, and it's connected more to this should be more news. This should not be just swept under the rug that I feel like some people are doing, kind of because it's like that was last week. There's more news now. This should be considered like a black eye in the esports community of fans pretty much bullying not a major league player, but a minor league player off of her team. And it's like people are trying so hard to make esports respected. There's money being thrown around like crazy. Like, I don't know. I guess you could do other stuff with the money, but you decide to go with, let's make esports a thing. And now this is going to be connected with it of, the fans can be fans do this.
And I think the grim reality of it is that esports is too occupied with making money than caring about the presentation of their fans.
Right.
I think they'd rather sweep it under the rug and let the good times roll than put a global light on the toxicity of their fans to drive people away. Because if you put the brighter light you put on the toxic fan base, people aren't going to want to play your game because they're, if aspiring female Overwatch players are oblivious to this whole situation, they're going to still strive to be Overwatch players professionally. But this news of this caliber, and like you said, it's not being policed correctly, can drive people away, and to them that hits their bottom line. So it's in their best interest to shoo it under the rug and hopefully it'll go away. But like you said, there's going
to be more stories like this. It's gonna be crazier and crazier. I mean, Rainbow Six, there's several stories of like players trying to find other players in the lobby and trying to kill them or stuff like that, threaten them. Hold on a second. And it's just it's gonna take some time. It's still a baby, and it's in its, I want to say, teenage years right now of being rebellious. No,
I would say it's still in its infant years because you still have children.
Yeah,
and I'm not meaning like kids who are aspiring to play. I mean like adult children.
Okay,
who are still have a loud enough voice to sway this poor player who all she wanted to do was be the best, and sounds like she was on her way.
Yeah, but
nobody wants to go through that. And the internet, for as good as it is horribly broken by the loud minority. These are the same people who scream at actors who get roles in superhero movies because they don't look like their version of the character. You know what I mean? Like it's the same kind of toxicity.
Yeah.
And the internet helps mask these people so that all the people in the position of succeeding, these athletes, these stars, these let's say podcasters for that matter, all they're getting is this negative hate. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they buckle under it. And unfortunately, she said, it's not worth it.
No.
To her, it wasn't. And that sucks. But like you said, until they start policing this better, people aren't going to play Overwatch. And that's why Overwatch isn't doing as good as it should be right now. because it's notorious now for being toxic.
Right. And okay, so there's another argument. There's another thing that's going on, and we could probably quickly move off of this, but it's a key component. There's a conspiracy that Ellie, or it was actually just all a hoax, and it really was a guy. And the news and this article by the Washington Post makes it sound like they believe that it's a hoax, but then you also have to realize it's the Washington Post trying to talk about video games. I picked the Washington Post because it's probably the most like well-known name. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's even if it was found out that Ellie was pretending to be a woman, but it's actually a man, who cares?
Like the Washington Post. Either way, it's a despicable act. Either she was, it doesn't matter. Like you said, it doesn't matter if it's a guy, girl, cat, dog. It don't matter. But she was still discriminated against. The player was still discriminated against. They were still forced out of the league, and there was no repercussions taken. But then again, are any actions taken? Not even repercussions, because how do you give repercussions to the faceless? You know what I mean? So there's no, what do you do? So there was no actions taken to safeguard these players against such, reprisals and against such negativity. So either way, this is like you said, this is a black eye on esports in general, and it having any kind of professionalism or authority to be bigger than it aims to be. And until they fix this stuff, it's going to remain a kid's game. It's going to be seen as such, and that's sad. But like you said, these things have growing pains, and it takes time for them to kind of police this stuff a little bit better. And people are going to troll. Trolls are going to troll. But there should be more things in place to protect your players from such, from such stuff. Like LeBron James knows not to read his Twitter all the time, because he probably gets some madness. You know what I mean? So maybe these players should have managed social media. You know what I mean? Maybe we might have to move on, because there's now there's some more to the story that I'm reading about. So I'm just opening up that I could be totally wrong on this issue. That's okay.
So
let's move on. And so
and I'll just say my last Overwatch news was Soldier 76 is gay. Okay, move on.
We're all your dads now. Get hyped, dude.
It's been revealed that he's gay.
That's fine. And people, I don't want to get too deep into that, but I read that too. But get hyped. Let's do it.
If it brings more people to the game, good. They're all noobs.
Yep. And if it gets more toxic people out, then good. Get them out of there. We don't need them anyway. We're all your daddy now.
Okay.
I like it. Speaking of revelations, did you hear about this developer that made his own? He remade PT from the ground up in VR.
I did not hear about it until you sent me that link. That's pretty impressive.
Insane, right? So there's a lot of backstory to this article, but I'm going to try to give you the short and skinny of it. There was a time where Guillermo del Toro, Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro, and visionary video game developer Hideo Kojima were going to make a sequel to Silent Hill for Konami, right?
Yeah.
What they created as a kind of a taste tester for what was to come was a playable teaser, is what they called it, a playable trailer that was amply named PT, that had nothing to do with the story of Silent Hills or their direction they were going in, just kind of give you a feel of the vibe that they were going for. And it was a very simple walkthrough simulator.
Right.
And it was the scariest game of probably the platform. So if you've played PT, you understand. And of course, we all know what happened with Konami and Hideo. Everything fell apart. You can't even get PT anywhere anymore, legally at least. And so the trailer was lost to the annals of time. I still have a copy of PT, and that's because I just refuse to get rid of it. Now, this guy, without the blessing of Konami or the blessing of anyone, took it upon himself to remaster and rebuild PT from the ground up using 4K assets and put it out online without telling anyone. Just did it. Say, here, check it out. Here's my resume, pretty much. Said it took him about 9 months to build it. And it's PlayStation VR compatible. And it's like the hottest thing online right now, if you can find it. And my buddy actually just got a PlayStation VR, and he's already kind of on the hunt looking for it. Because I heard it's not necessarily easy to find because of the circumstances. But winner, bro, like, I think that's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of like guerrilla game making. You know what I mean?
Guerrilla game making. I just would like to know. Can we like quiet down with the VR, please? The VR.
I like the VR. I'm excited. For
the only exciting VR game that I got excited about was something I read about a couple weeks ago, which was the Exorcist VR game.
See, did you end up playing Resident Evil 7 in VR? It's amazing. It's amazing.
I don't know. I feel like an old man talking about VR. Going, it's something.
I will say it's something. I will say this is that VR is not in for long spurts. If you have anything of a queasy stomach, it may not be for you. And if you have eye issues, it may not be for you. But I'm excited for the future of VR, especially if they respect the hardware. You know what I mean? Because there's a big difference between Jaws 3D and Avatar. You know what I mean? In regards to like using this tool as a seasoning and not the steak. You know what I mean? Like, if you can create a immersive VR experience that amplifies your terror or your happiness or your excitement, then I'm more like first person shooters in VR done right would be an amazing experience. But you got to master the technology. Like, can you imagine something like Blackout in complete VR?
That would be cool, but
or even Overwatch in that colorful, like you're
running
through
now you're just trying to spoil the pond. Now you're just trying to spoil the pond, I guess. Just trying to throw in buzzwords to get me interested.
Yeah, I'm trying to put a little sugar in your slizzard, dog. You know what I'm saying? Trying to put a little sweet in your liquor. But I'm just saying, like, I'm all for VR, man. As long as they don't make it dumb, like anything, like any gimmick. Because let's call it what it is. It's a gimmick, But if they do it respectfully, then I'll check. I'm not going to buy one.
Right.
Like $400. But I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? In the most depressing news of the week, to me, and former Blizzard devs are working on a new Marvel game. Can you guess what dev team is working on a new Marvel game?
No. Tell.
So I was talking to someone about this the other day, and just to answer the age-old question, these are old Hearthstone developers are working on a new Marvel game. Of course, it doesn't say this in any of the article, I would say, headlines, because they want to leave it to some mystery. But Marvel and Disney have horrible gaming practices. Mm-hmm. All their games are bad. Ever since Marvel got connected with DC, I'm not DC, I wish, with Disney, so I was kind of close. Their gaming choices have been cheap and just thrown out there. Can't stand it. Other than Marvel's Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, I have no hope for anything that has Marvel branding that's a video game right now. Zero hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though Hearthstone was a good game.
Yeah, I still play it. I like card games, so it's gonna be in my.
But you already know This is going to be a mobile game, and it's going to be a Marvel Hearthstone mobile game with microtransactions and buying, card decks and chase card collections, and it's going to be whack, dude.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
not what I want right now.
Let's stop putting because I'm guilty of this too. Let's stop putting the like down mobile games. Yeah,
I'm not even saying down mobile games because I think mobile games have their place.
Yeah,
like earlier today I was playing a mobile game. At work. Just
like I was watching a YouTube video where the guy put it very well. Like it enlightened me today. He was going, talking about the Blizzard putting the new Diablo game on mobile, and they were like, "Yeah, they put it on one of the biggest growing markets out there. What do you expect?" Yeah,
what do you want? Right? I get it. It's just it's not the thing I want, and it's the most selfish kind of childish place to come from, and I admit that. It's like I don't want it.
Right?
It doesn't mean that it's not going to sell gangbusters because we know it is. It's Marvel on your phone, but is it? You know what I'm saying? Like some new sick Avengers third person action game on all consoles? No, it's a mobile card game that's for someone out there, that is for whales and for that one guy. Are they doing anything else? We don't know because they haven't said anything in like 2 years. You know what I mean? They haven't really announced anything. And little stuff like this is just, I don't know. Like you said, I'm not trying to down the mobile industry because the mobile industry is a necessary evil. You know what I mean? Like speaking of Diablo, it's a necessary evil, but fans just it's bittersweet. Just be like Borderlands VR. Oh crap! That's not what I want. I want Borderlands 3. No, you want Borderlands? Don't you have VR? Don't you guys have phones?
I don't know.
So I don't know. It's gonna come out and it's gonna disappear. And
who cares?
It'll come out. It'll make money. No big deal. I want more. Speaking of mobile games, the sequel to Alien Isolation, Alien Blackout trailer was announced as a mobile game, and the Alien fan base is livid. Everyone is so mad.
I know.
They're so mad with it. Because Alien Isolation was such a good game. It was so good. It was like it's the best thing. It's the best thing Alien branded since
not Alien Legacy, not Alien Trilogy. What that PlayStation game?
No,
that was a Doom port.
No, Alien Trilogy. Alien Trilogy is doji though. That's pretty dope. But it's better than that. Alien Isolation was the best bit of Alien content since Aliens.
Yeah,
it came out like in the 80s, dude. It's been like 20 or 30 years of garbage Alien content. A brick of time. No one got it right. No one cared to get it right. But Isolation did. This video game, this canon video game, and these jokers in their last bit of desperation, about to sell to Marvel, about to sell to Disney, put out this crap mobile game to get their last couple of bucks before Disney takes the franchise by the reins and does whatever they do with it. Make the Xenomorph Queen a princess or something. I don't care. Whatever. But yeah, people are livid, man.
This is how excited I am about it. So I'm just rereading the article, and then my eyes scroll to the right, and I read Kim Delaney and Bill Brooktrup returning for NYPD Blue Revival. Without even thinking about it, I clicked on it.
You had no choice in that matter, dude.
No.
Man, you had no choice in the matter, dude. Like you said, we're not here to dog on mobile games. But it's not what we want, man. It's like, I think, excuse me, I think there's two divisions in all businesses. What makes money,
Right.
and the poor division that has to listen to us. You know, there's, you know what I'm saying? There's two different divisions. There's the division that actually bring money into the business. Like let's use Valve. There's two parts of Valve.
No.
There's Steam Valve, and then there's just one guy in the office who reads, "Hey idiots, bring back Half-Life" emails all day. And his job is just to document them because they're not going to do anything with it. You know what I mean? I think all nerdiverse-based companies have to deal with that. It's like, okay, Capcom, we know you guys want Marvel vs. Capcom 4. We hear you screaming about it all day, but you know what you're going to get? You're going to get this iOS game. You're going to get Marvel Triple Triad or whatever.
Right.
Because we need money. Because it makes money. We're not going to make a full-blown fighting game that's going to cost us money. Because only you 500,000 nerds are going to buy it. Where this mobile game is going to make billions off of millions of people.
Yeah.
Who just download it because they're trained to do it. They're, socially trained.
I just sent my mom the article about NYPD Blue coming back, and she just gives me a thumbs up. She literally thinks I'm crazy.
Sweet.
Let's go on to that.
Yeah, mom is hype. Get mom ultra hype. Dude. Yeah, I have nothing else. This news week was a bit thin. I got nothing. Alien Blackout took the wins out of my sales winner. Between Alien Blackout and this damn Marvel Blizzard Hearthstone game, have no faith in the future, dog. No faith.
Yeah, it's a rough start for the year.
That's all right. It's only going to get better once Resident Evil 2 Remake comes out. Oh, yeah. And Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh, yeah. So what are you looking forward to, my man?
I'm looking forward to sleep. Chowing down on some BK. And then lying about it tomorrow.
Sweet. That sounds about me. Instead of BK, I'm staring down the barrel of some Taco Bell right now. Product placement. That's what I'm going to choke down before I go to sleep. I have to do the podcast art, which is always fun. And I want to do a little bit more research on streaming, on the streams, and try to get that as active as possible. And probably try to get my internet back up because my internet's been acting garbage lately, dog. Do you have any passing thoughts before we close this bad boy out?
Yeah. Let's make this episode non-canon, shall we? That's my passing thought.
Nice. You can consider this an Elseworld. This is an Elseworld episode of the Nerdiverse. That's fine, because what are we, what did I say? Chalupa and the Dude or something like that? No?
We can't hit it out of the park every episode, guys.
That's okay.
We can hit or miss. There we go.
We're still in the afterglow of the holidays, so I totally chalk it up
hit
to that.
Or miss. I bet he doesn't even kiss you.
Wow. That's a line of something I don't want to think about right now.
That's for our younger audience there.
Okay. I'm too old. And if you're old and have tons of money and want to support our podcast monetarily, you can visit our website, which is mastersofthenerdiversecast.com, where you can join our Patreon and submit donations to our channel so we can grow super strong and big and with muscles. And if you enjoy video games, we have recently started streaming on Twitch. So if you wanted to go to twitch.tv/MOTN plays, Mike G is going to be losing his mind and playing some video games. Want to stop by and say hi? That's always good to go. We're going to be announcing streams on our Twitter, which is @MNerdiverse, where if you want to follow us, we'll be giving you updates on this channel, doing fun polls throughout the week, and just overall just having a good time. I have, of course, been your host, Mike G.
And I've been your host, Trash Monk the Third.
And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond.